Hello, this is Donnie's blog. This is episode 7. We kind of on the back end of our journey in adult learning, and so I want to talk about something we talked about in class about like adult learning. It's kind of like storytelling. I know that's a weird concept to understand. I think um, when you think about storytelling, you think about traditions that are being passed on um, from one person to the next, right? Um, traditions, why grandma does this or why do we do that. But we don't realize that, that's a part of adult learning, how we pass things through. And also on the company level, right? It's like you hear these stories about, Walt Disney or Jeff Bezos, and it brings some people get galvanized because look what this person did, and this person worked hard every day, to to for whatever, and they're like, that's how it's supposed to be in the company, and then it is a story that carries on, or this person was a great leader, and this person used to say hey and give donuts every Friday, and then it get carry on, and right. And so what we realize is that as adult learners is that stuff kind of passes on, and that stuff we keep with us, and I think that is interesting because you think about storytelling as more of a kid or more of a family thing, but definitely we do these things, you know, on a organizational level. A lot of stuff that culture wise and how you build up things. A lot of stuff is based on stories, right? Or like I keep saying, like this person founded this and they were doing this, and in schools, hey, you know this is a certain the mascot the mascot's fighting spirit, and this is the things that we do. So we tell ourselves these stories to get ourselves connected to something, to get ourselves belong to an organization. So I find it very interesting that we do that. And so I find it interesting for adult learner standpoint of how does that affect what we do and how we go about things and learning, right? Because we take something from their story, whatever that story is meant to be. We're supposed to take out that lesson in it to use it in our own work. And so I feel like it's very interesting because just like a parable, right, for like a kid, or like they say in the Bible or something like that, it's a story. Whether the story is true or not, that remains to be seen. But the key of the story is to take the lesson out of the story. And so what we realize is that you take the lesson out of it, and it kind of brings a situation where you feel like, hey, I'm able to use this, for my work. And so, definitely in class, hearing different classmates talk about that, and us reading stories about it, and kind of realizing that how, you know, the history of storytelling from our own culture, because pretty much each culture they have some type of story they tell each other, whether it's a story based on history or facts, or whether it's kind of like, how some Native American troop, I think I said this in class, that I did say this in class that, how Native Americans pass stuff on, the fact that they don't write things down, but the fact that stuff was able to be passed on is very exceptional. And so definitely in a place of work, that's very important, especially when you're trying to build a culture or you have a certain culture that are there. And so I find it interesting with the adult learning and that aspect of it. I think that with adult learning, I'm realizing that it's very complex, but also, you have to make people want to learn, right? Because they have to try to figure out what's going to be the end goal in for me, what is in it for me. Because as adults, you try to realize that, hey, everybody wants something for them. What's going to be for me. And so I find it very interesting to see that, and I think that it's important for us to understand that, as an adult learners, it's very good to make sure we tell ourselves a story that's going to make us work hard and make us get to where we need to go. Whether that's organizational stuff or you take yourself. You kind of to motivate yourself, and so it's very very easy to do that, and that's a very innovative approach. Storytelling and kind of making sure that you kind of understand, what's going on and why. I think that's another thing as adults we try to figure out the why and everything. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Sometimes when you kids, sometimes you just do stuff just to do it, or because somebody told me. But as adults, because when I take our own learning, it's like, why am I doing this? And so I feel like storytelling in that sense kind of creates that why, or why am I doing it? Why do I need to do it? And so that's really one thing I want to focus on in this particular blog. And so I thank you for this small piece. Like I said, I try to keep it low because I can go on and on and on. But thank you for that, and I'll see you next week. So thank you and have a good day.